Hey guys, it's Dr. Jerry. So how do you time your meals with your body's natural clock? So look, all through time, human evolution, we've eaten food aligned with circadian rhythms. We didn't have artificial light. Of course, we got up with the sun and ate throughout the day. We're active during the day and then went to bed. Stopped eating at night, went to bed, right? Eating mainly, again, during daylight hours. And this is when digestive processes function optimally. However, with our modern, crazy, fast-paced society, right, we've kind of thrown all this off with our light. We can stay up 24/7, work all night, sleep all day. However, this has contributed significantly to the epidemic of hormonal imbalances, chronic diseases, inflammation, and so much more. So it's not just what you eat, it's when you eat and timing your body, everything. And I'll get into other topics later in terms of like supplements and workouts, but in terms of eating and everything, it's important about, again, when you eat. It's called the science of chronobiology, and you will basically align your eating patterns with our bodies and nature's inherent rhythms. And this is what chronobiology is all about. Um, this is what's important because it can optimize our entire metabolic processes and more. And if you align your eating patterns with your food's inherent chronobiology, this can enable us to optimize our hormone production without anything else on top of that. You may need that as we get older anyway, but it starts the process. It can enhance metabolic flexibility without restrictive diets, improve digestion without eliminating food groups, and reduce inflammation just through nutritional timing. Our bodies have its own our own clocks, our internal clocks. The master clock is in the brain. The suprachiasmatic nucleus is what it's called in the hypothalamus, but our every organ has its own clock. These are called the zeitgebers, right? And it's we can influence this with light, with temperature, and with food and activity. So again, why is this important? Because our body systems, again, have optimal times to perform and function at their best. So why not align our patterns and our routines with that to give our bodies what it needs at the right time? There's a lot to this, and you can go crazy getting really detailed, but I'm gonna, you know me, I like to keep it super short and simple. So, for example, like insulin sensitivity, enzyme production, stomach acid, emptying, how fast your stomach empties and digests food, all follow daily patterns. So we're gonna align this with our circadian rhythms. Crucial hormones like insulin, cortisol, leptin, ghrelin, adiponectin, testosterone, so much more. They fluctuate throughout the day, right? So you want to have and take advantage of these optimal windows for different types of meals and activities. Digestive enzymes, liver detoxification pathways follow daily cycles that affect how efficiently your body can process these nutrients and eliminate toxins. So again, when you align your eating patterns with these rhythms, you can enhance nutrient absorption, optimize hormone production, and improve metabolic flexibility. If you're going against them, then guess what? You're going to have energy crashes, stubborn weight issues, and fatigue, and all more problems. We don't want that, right? So anyway, so morning metabolism, again, early morning consumption of protein and healthy fats is best, usually within the first hour of waking. For most people, this can increase thyroid hormone production and metabolic rate by up to almost 20%. It can also align with your body's natural production of cortisol and testosterone and other hormones to start the anabolic processes. And again, this is the best time to get your good dose of proteins and fats in the mornings. Afternoon, insulin sensitivity is best in the morning and afternoon and drops as the day goes on. Mid-morning and is usually best sometimes in early afternoon, and then it declines throughout the day. So carbohydrate consumption is more efficiently processed in the late morning, and for some people as late as up to the afternoon, up to 2 to maybe even 4, 5, 6 o'clock, compared to after 7 or 8 o'clock. So this is why you shouldn't be snacking on carbs, snacks, pretzels, chips, cookies, ice cream, in the evening. Shouldn't be eating at all once it gets dark, right? But ideally, after 7, 8 o'clock, definitely you shouldn't be eating any carbs because this is your body's just not as insulin sensitive. Evening is best for cortisol management, right? So food consumed after at sunset can trigger excessive cortisol production, and this is when cortisol should be going down. So if we're spiking cortisol, spiking insulin with bad food, processed foods, etc., this is going to throw this all off, and it can disrupt sleep quality and reproductive hormone balance. So anyway, so what do you want to focus on really? Is it sex hormones, cortisol, insulin? Everybody has different issues. Some people have all these issues, but for insulin regulation, again, carbohydrates, think, late morning, early afternoon. Ideally should be doing at least a 12-hour overnight fast. You don't have to do crazy fasting, but 12 to 16 hours is great. And best to do that in the evening, right? Not cutting off your eating earlier and then eat earlier in the morning. It tends to be best for weight loss and metabolism, energy production, and more. So for example, you could stop eating at 6 or 7 and eat again the next morning at 7 in the morning, 7 to 7 or something like that. Front load your calories earlier in the day. Again, it's focused on fat and protein in the morning and then carbs later, and have protein with every meal, at least 20 to 30 grams or more. So this is going to keep minimizing blood sugar variations. If cortisol balance is an issue, if you're stressed out or have cortisol issues, again, you want to try to eat early within the first 45 minutes or so of waking, and have salt, potassium rich foods at breakfast to kind of get you those electrolytes and minerals that you need to balance out your cortisol. And you want to avoid caffeine after 12. Try to get in the morning, or maybe not at all if you're really jacked up on cortisol, right? Try to eat, again, stop eating at least 3 hours before bedtime. And maybe this is a time to have actually some complex carbohydrates with dinner to help serotonin, to help sleep, to help bring down that cortisol response. Now, if sex hormone optimization is what you're focusing, focus on a lot of cruciferous vegetables, especially before in the afternoon, healthy fats throughout the day, space protein intake out across the day as well, and avoid any alcohol in general, but definitely within 4 to 5 hours of bedtime. You should focus on foods that are rich in zinc and magnesium, especially at dinner time for evening metabolism and testosterone optimization. So again, morning eating during the cortisol peak can create a hormonal environment that supports thyroid function, protein synthesis, and metabolic activation. On the flip side, evening food intake supports natural melatonin production, growth hormone release, and overnight liver detoxification. This is what you want. You want to avoid the sugar because that's going to raise insulin, which is going to interfere with growth hormone production, and leptin production, which is what you want at night. So again, in the window, again, think protein-heavy breakfast, some moderate fats, maybe some complex carbs, and focus on like B vitamins, some zinc, selenium. Middle of the day should be your biggest meal of the day, right? Lots of proteins and fats, fibers, and any anti-inflammatory compounds in the evening. A smaller dinner. Again, lots of minerals, glycine-rich foods. Glycine is great for the gut, for sleep. If needed, gentle carbohydrates, but again, try to avoid this in the evening. This is the time you want to do some magnesium, calming herbal compounds, and more. So protein sources, it can be varied, but again, animal protein is best throughout the day, best in the morning. And in the evening is when you've been doing like collagen and glycine-rich proteins, again, for metabolism, for healing at night. And carbohydrates, again, your complex fiber-rich carbs, best in the morning and afternoon. Starch carbohydrates, same thing, but some people do better with that at dinner to help them sleep if they're having some sleep issues. Fruit, again, best throughout the day, but again, try to not, avoid them in the evening as well. Fats, omega-3s, any time of day. Afternoon is usually the best. Monounsaturated fats like olive oil throughout the day. Saturated fats, best in the early morning and the afternoon. You can do it in the evening too if you tolerate just fine. This is going to support bile production and digestion. MCTs, coconut oils, quick energy fats are best in the morning for cortisol alignment. So again, your insulin sensitivity can vary, and your digestion can vary. So this is the way you want to do it and to get things optimized. So I'll talk on the future about another video about supplements, the best time of day for certain supplements, but this is the best way to kind of put it all together and get going, right? And I'll also do another video about activity, how to time this with light exposure and activity, how to sync all this together. But I just want to talk about chrononutrition first and how to align your eating with your daily rhythm. Because light, sensory, food intake, these are all energy inputs to your body. And again, you want to align them with your circadian rhythm. So please like and share this post. If you have any questions, hit me up. And check me out at drericprimax.com. And this will be on my social media in case anybody had any questions. Thanks so much. Have a great day.